Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have for you an unboxing video of sorts, but it's a little bit different than normal because, typically I actually show you stuff up close and personal and not quite like this, but I got a group of notes back from PMG that I thought I would share with you, partially because this is the first time that we've used their stocks and bonds service, which is basically you're still doing stuff but in a larger holder. But of course, these guys were in a separate package, but we got them rolling here. This really cool looking Cleveland note. This is a $50 Federal Reserve National Bank note, and you're talking about a nice AU55 coming at you live here. So this note, is probably about $150 to $200 in this condition. Very, very pretty, nice note. I had another video where I talked about these, and I said this is kind of a fun area that you can collect that's not expensive, relatively speaking, that I think has some long-term potential. Just one man's opinion. Next up, a really cool looking star note, right? So star notes are always popular, and there's a lot of them out there that are kind of hard to come by. So this star note here, you're looking at a 1934 A series. PMG graded this 40, which means it's very crisp, has some folds, but the note's very nice still. No bad attributes on the backside of this guy. No bad apples. Note that's probably going to be about $100 or so on a note like that in this grade. They're hard to find in 40. I saw quite a few of them trading in either lower grades or higher grades, but 40 was like that barber half dollar or barber quarter that you're trying to get in a VF grade, right? Next up, I have a fun Scene Double series here. I've got a couple of these 1928s, $20 gold, $20 bills. These are not made out of gold, but they are redeemable in gold on demand, which is actually one of the labels that changed over time in the 20s as you went forward. So these ones actually said redeemable in gold on them. But really beautiful notes, PMG graded 65. Close to a couple $100 each on these guys. Also, maybe a little bit less than that. Consecutive serial numbers, if I didn't already say that. I'm just seeing quadruple as I keep moving stuff around. If I was a magician, you'd all ask me to disappear. All right, so next up, we have some bonds here. And these bonds are really cool. You can see they're a lot bigger, so these wouldn't really fit in my little setup area that I usually show videos on, because this is much larger than the space used. And just for a point of reference here, you can see just how large these guys are. And these are really cool. These are actually called aviation bonds. They're called Patriotic aviation bonds. There's a really neat World War II book that you should consider looking into if you haven't seen it already, that covers all kinds of numismatic items that you don't normally see. Well, these are really popular because they have a plane on them, right? How hard is it to figure that one out? Like, it's got a plane, go collect it, right? Has multiple planes, there's a whole bunch of them in back. And really nicely embossed, emblazoned sun on there, right? This is the where's my thing up here? $50 variety. So they came in 5, 10, 50, and hundreds. The hundreds are pretty rare. These guys in this condition are also fairly scarce. These are going to be hundreds of dollars just on these guys here, but what's cool about these is they called them patriotic aviation bonds because they didn't pay any interest. There's no mention of interest anywhere. And also, just like those other ones here with C double now, I actually have 2 consecutive serial numbered notes, bonds on these 50s, which is really kind of fun. So probably end up trying to sell them together. Maybe they'll end up in a heritage auction or something like that. It just kind of varies. But it's the kind of thing that I like putting odd stuff like this in auction, just because, it seems like that's where the specialty collectors find it, and you have a little bit of action going forward. If I didn't mention this already, that is a Boeing P-26 on there. Yeah, someone found that out for me. Actually, it was that World War II book that I was talking about. Also, based on what the World War II book said, they only were able to order 11 planes from this. Apparently, it's patriotic, but it's not patriotic enough to where you could give them money for 10 years without interest. They didn't like that idea. Could you imagine Could you imagine that? But that's what Social Security is. But anyways, this is a $100 one. This is the rare one, the more scarce one. And then this one's might go for 1,000 or more. It does have a few small tears to it, as you can see, but the back is the same. The design's actually completely the same as the other note. It's just that, of course, it'll have a different denomination on it, and it also will have a different color pattern, right? And so, but the rest of the actual design is the same. And on these guys, I was looking to see, I didn't see in the book where they were printed, and I'm not seeing anywhere on here. So sometimes you'll find items like this and they'll be printed by the American Banknote Company, for example. Prints lots of foreign banknotes. And you'll see things like that. Oh no, TDLR, right? I'm just going to use the initials because heaven forbid when I'm trying to give you information I get it right. So, but anyways, fun stuff. The cost on these was the same as just a normal submission for these guys. And as I say that, now I got to go pick up my sheet and look at it again because I have to verify that. Actually, because we're not going to retake this one, we're just going to do it in one take here. We're going to go ahead and if I'm wrong, the engineer will just cut me off right now.